Hello and welcome to episode 4 of The Decent Wrestling Show. On this episode, we're going to take a look at reviewing Summerslam and TakeOver, all 14 matches. I'm going to rank them from the 14th best match to the best match of the weekend. And then we have a Raw review, and then a couple of questions and a rant about something that happened. And that is today's show, so let's get straight into it with the review of the weekend's shows, TakeOver and SummerSlam, ranking them from 14 to number 1. In 14th place, as you'd expect, Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie, which I gave a 1/4 of a star. Now, this should have, obviously going in, you know this is not going to be a great wrestling match. I didn't expect that. I expected 2-3 minutes match. Nothing really would happen, and then there'd be a big moment in the end with Lily. And it just never came, really. There was no big moment, it just sort of, there was a match, and Alexa won. Which it just felt like nothing. Right? And then Doudrop turned on Eva Marie after the match. So at least something, but she didn't beat her up or anything. And I think they could have made that go a bit longer with Eva and Doudrop. But they've just split them straight away. And now they're feuding, which obviously Doudrop's going to probably win, as you'd expect. I also wonder if she'll get her name back to Piper. I don't know, but yeah, the match wasn't great at all. 13, Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal. So I'll admit I was wrong. I thought this would be a low-key show stealer, but they got 4 minutes and 40 seconds about. It was basically a glorified squash match for Drew. It wasn't a bad squash match, it was a fine squash match. I gave it 2 stars. It was just a squash match. Drew won, as he should have. And yeah, he continues his momentum getting back, eventually back into the title picture. Obviously he can't face Bobby, but Bobby's not going to hold on the belt forever. And I expect Drew, by WrestleMania time, will be back in the title picture and probably fighting for the title at Mania. Maybe. Probably fighting for the title at Probably fighting for the title at Mania, probably. Number 12, WWE Championship, Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg. I was going to give it 3 stars, but I'm going to give it 2 3/4 because I wasn't the biggest fan of the ending. I understood why they did it with Goldberg not even being able to continue due to the work done on his leg. Good leg selling, by the way, better than some people. But I just would have liked to see like a tap out finish or something. I know they're not going to have Goldberg tap out, but that would have been a really cool moment. But it continues to make Lashley look like an absolute monster. Maybe they'll have a rematch in Saudi Arabia, I don't know. It definitely seemed like they were leading to a second match, but maybe that was just, I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. But Bobby Lashley continues his streak of wins, and we'll see who he faces next. And I hope his reign continues. He's been good so far as champion, much better than I thought he would be. But props to Lashley. But yeah, I think it actually went 8 minutes. So Goldberg had a proper length match, and yeah, he was fine. It was pretty decent at times. Goldberg's selling was good. Again, I just wasn't a huge fan of the finish. Number 11 was the opener for SummerSlam, the Raw Tag Titles, as AJ Styles and Omos took on RK Bro. 3 stars, good opener. Nothing amazing, nothing out of this world. Served its purpose as an opener. Got the crowd amped up, was a nice moment. It was a moment more than a match. It was a moment of RK Bro winning the tag titles as they should have. And I'm sure they'll have a rematch, which will be their actual proper match, where they actually get, a longer amount of time to have a really good match. But this was just sort of, just do your moves and we'll get through this, and just to warm up the crowd. And it served its purpose well, and did well. 3 stars, solid match. Number 10 is the Usos taking on the Mysterios for the SmackDown Tag Titles. Definitely not as good as their previous matches, but it's still a solid match. 3.5 stars. Just very good, solid action. Absolutely loved Rey Mysterio's and Dominic's Randy Savage tribute gear. with the pink stars. Really nice gear. Probably one of my favourite Rey Mysterio gears, maybe, but pink is one of my favourite colours, so bit biased there. But yeah, really good. These four work really well together, and it was a nice moment for Dominic to get to have a match at SummerSlam in front of fans. You know, I think he's only been wrestling a year now, so and he looks really comfortable in the ring even after a year. So props to him. The Usos won this one. Pretty fun match. Number 9, this one surprised me. This was the Raw Women's Championship. Nikki Ash versus Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair in a triple threat match. When I was watching this live, I did not watch this one, and I wasn't really looking forward to. I rewatched SummerSlam. I wasn't looking forward to watching it, but to be honest, this one really shocked me. It was actually a really, really well done match. All three worked well, told a good story throughout the match, and the action was fun. And loved Charlotte's spinning corkscrew moonsault. I think she hasn't done it in a while, but it looked really good here. Well, the camera work wasn't great on it, but on the replay it looked good. Charlotte Flair won. The Nikki Ash experiment seems to have floundered. Seems to not have worked. But, you know, it is what it is. You try stuff. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know if they're going to try and continue with it, or they're going to change her character again and say, look, it just didn't work out this time. But maybe it's back to the drawing board for her. But again, 3.5 stars. Number 8, for the NXT Women's Championship, it was Raquel Gonzalez retaining against Dakota Kai. These two actually worked really well together. Raquel, there was still one or two iffy moments, but I thought Raquel really shined here, and I thought she put in a great performance. Obviously Dakota Kai's great. They had a really terrific match with each other. There was a really cool spot with a scorpion kick from Dakota, which led to a powerbomb spot. That was a really cool move. So some cool transitions and cool maneuvers and reversals, and probably had the best finish of the night other than the opener. Solid stuff between these two. 3 3/4. And then Kaylee Ray made her NXT debut from NXT UK. She's now on NXT, and it looks like she wants the gold. Number 7 for the NXT Championship. My man, Karrion Kross against Samoa Joe. Joe ended up winning this match. It wasn't your conventional NXT main event where they go 47 minutes with 800 different kickouts. It was like 15 minutes, two big hosses beating the crap out of each other. A lot of fun. I would love to see a rematch, and they're not going to do it, but I would love to see a rematch between these two. But it was really, really fun main event. 3 3/4 as well. I was sad Kross lost, but it is what it is, and he's moving his way up to Monday Night Raw and leaving NXT. Number 6 was for the United States Championship, Sheamus versus Damian Priest. 3 3/4 as Damian Priest became the new United States Champion, beating Sheamus. Awesome work between these two. Much better than their match on Raw. These two worked excellently together. It did look like Priest may have hurt his back early on in the match, but he seemed to recover fine from it. So it may have just been like a bruise. But yeah, really nice moment for Damian Priest at the end to win it. And they had some good transitions, good work, and good intensity in this match. Really nice back and forth action. Sheamus continues to be an absolute joy to watch. And Damian Priest is a cool moment for him. So good work all around in this one. Number 5 for the $1 Million Championship, LA Knight, let me talk to ya, took on To The Moon, Cameron Grimes. What an excellent hot opener for TakeOver. I gave it 4 stars, had the best ending on TakeOver. Really solid stuff, absolutely hot crowd for this opening match. Great back and forth. Again, LA Knight reminds me, I think I've said this before, LA Knight reminds me of like an He reminds me of like an 80s heel, or like an 80s, 90s heel, just with like his emotions and way he sells stuff and bounces around, like a Mr. Perfect type. That's who he reminds me of, and I really love it. But these two have excellent chemistry. They've had a couple of great matches with each other, and this one, maybe it was the best of the three, or the 2 or 3 they've had. I think it was the best one. I may have to rewatch their ladder match, but I think I enjoyed this one slightly more. But whatever, really good stuff. Definitely go check this match out. And Cameron Grimes won with the cave-in. Number 4, Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly in the 3 Stages of Hell match. Kyle won 2 falls to 1. He won the opening match, the singles match, then Cole won the street fight, then Kyle won the cage match. They went only like 25 minutes, I think. So everyone thought they were going to go like an hour plus. Same with me, I thought it was going to be 40 plus minutes. But no, they kept it shorter than usual, and it was still a terrific match. I gave it 4.25 stars. The only issue I had with it was the ending, but everything else throughout it, like the wrestling match itself, the first part, was fine, it was solid. Then the street fight is where the bulk of the match was, and that was where the bulk of the excitement was, with Adam working over Kyle's ribs, and Kyle's selling and storytelling and psychology was absolutely perfection in this, and that's where it got most of its rating for me. That whole middle part, the meat of the match, was so good. The meat of the match was juicy. The only issue I had with it, and I was going to give it 4.5 stars, but that ending was so anticlimactic. It just sort of just like, you thought, right, basically I think Kyle got handcuffed to the ropes, and then he somehow got Cole in like a leg lock with the handcuffs, and you thought, oh, this will probably go on for like 40 or 50 seconds, and then Cole hit him with like a chair or something and break it up, and we'll go to the next spot from there. But no, just tapped out, and that was it. After like 10 seconds. Just was sort of, I expected a bit more of like a big dramatic finish. So that dropped it down to 4.25 stars. Number 3, Edge versus Seth Rollins. Edge won this match, 4.5 stars. What a phenomenal match between 2 phenomenal wrestlers. So this was one of those matches where they didn't need to go 100 miles an hour. They didn't need to do 100 different spots. They told a simple story with Seth Rollins working over Edge's neck. They went back and forth. They made it so Edge might win, Seth might win. They didn't go super fast-paced or super slow-paced. They went a solid mixed pace of fast and slow. Really good storytelling, really good psychology. And in the end, Edge won. And the spots they did do, the big spots they did do, they weren't just done for the sake of doing them. When you do a big spot in a match, right? If you do it loads of big spots, it becomes meaningless. By the 7th, 8th one, you go from whoa to cool, yeah. But the way this match was designed and laid out, it accentuated the big spots, so they felt bigger. So just a spear through the ropes. Big E does that in every 5 or 6 matches he has. It's never a huge moment. You're like, oh, cool. Because he does it in every 5, 6 matches, so it's not special. But on this match, the spear through the ropes, and I think Big E did it on the pre-show. He was on the pre-show, he did it, didn't get a big reaction, but this did, and this was a big moment because they made it feel like a big moment. They made the big spots feel like big spots. And that's what you really want to accentuate a great match, and it makes you I'm going to forget about Big E doing a spear to Baron Corbin in a few days. But this spot's going to be stuck in my mind because it made sense with the match. When I load up Edge versus Seth Rollins in 6 months' time, I'll know, oh, I remember this spot in this match because they made it feel like a big spot. And that's what a great wrestler can do. These two are both excellent at their craft. And Edge picks up the win because he has to win at least one match, you know. He's got to win a couple of matches, otherwise him putting people over is not going to work, is it? You know? If he just loses every match, by the 7th time he's put someone over, you sort of lost interest. It's the same way WrestleMania, everyone got mad when Triple H beat Sting, but he lost to Daniel Bryan the year before. The year after, he lost to Roman Reigns. The year after that, he lost to Seth Rollins. The year after that, he lost to Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle. So he's lost, these 4 matches? If he lost to Sting, that would be, 5 years in a row? What does that do for Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 33? Oh, you facing someone who's lost, their last 3 years. Big whoop that you won. No, you have to get some wins. You can't lose every match. You can make someone look good in defeat, and that's what Edge did with Seth. Mini run over. Number 2 on the list was Roman Reigns versus John Cena for the Universal Championship. This felt like such a big match, had such a big fight feel, such a great aura around it. It really fit, like those big boxing main events. That's what it really felt like. It felt like a big marquee match, and these two worked superbly well together, told an amazing story. Roman Reigns, one of the best storytellers in wrestling, hands down, and his trash talking is amazing. Definitely a main event worthy of checking out. 4.5 stars. This, if you can only watch one match, or 2 matches, from SummerSlam, it's Edge Rollins and this one. I was torn on which one was better, but I'm slightly just going to give it to Roman and Cena just because of the aura. That just edges it for me. No pun intended, of course. After the match, the Beast incarnate, the Viking-looking Brock Lesnar made his return to WWE after, 16, 18 months or something, isn't it? 16, 17, 18 months. But his return looks like a Viking, and he's going to be badass babyface Brock. Paul Heyman was in shock, looked like he was about to explode, but he looks like he's siding with Roman Reigns so far, but it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, and for once I am hyped for Lesnar Reigns. Heel Reigns against babyface Brock, sign me up. And the best match of the weekend, as you'd expect it to be, for the UK Championship, Volta finally lost to Ilya Dragunov and finally lost his 800 plus day reign as UK champion in a 4 stars and 3/4 match. Now, I would have given it 5 stars, but again, the ending put me off a little bit. It wasn't a horrible ending, it was just a bit anticlimactic. So these two have insane chemistry with each other. You knew it was going to be a great match. You basically put 5 stars down and thought, okay, is there anything that can ruin it from being 5 stars? Because you knew it was already going to be a 5-star match going in. And it almost was for me. But yeah, these two, excellent chemistry with each other. Dragunov's selling was amazing. Volta's chops. The storytelling, the psychology, the callbacks, everything was excellent in this match. Until the slight iffy ending. Dragunov made Walter tap out, but Walter tapped out in like 3 seconds. I get what they're going for, but the drama, I wanted a bit more drama in it. You know what I mean? But definitely a phenomenal match that you need to go check out. The other thing that happened at SummerSlam was Becky, the man comes around Lynch, made her return. And I'm not counting this as a match because it was like 10 seconds. She beat Bianca Belair because Sasha was not able to compete apparently. But Becky makes a return, beat Bianca in like 10 seconds with the rock bottom, whatever she's calling it. And became the new SmackDown Women's Champion. So she's back on top. She gained what she never lost. She never lost her title. She had to relinquish it. And now she's back where she belongs on top. I'm expecting this to lead to a full-time feud with Becky and Bianca. Maybe they push it back a little bit, because I think Bianca might be the one to take the title back off Becky. But obviously you can't do it straight away. So maybe they have one match and then Bianca moves to something else. Becky has a title run and then you finally bring it back to Becky and Bianca in the end. So that is my SummerSlam and TakeOver reviews. Overall, I enjoyed both shows. TakeOver was phenomenal as well. I think the biggest problem was was the finishes weren't great. I also think in Cross Joe the finish wasn't great. It was a bit, again, anticlimactic with the Muscle Buster win. Yeah, so that was a disappointing thing for me. So I think I'm going to take over an 8 out of 10. Would have been like an 8.5, but again, the finishes. Summerslam, a solid 7 out of 10. A very solid show between, there was Edge Rollins, Reigns Cena were absolutely terrific. You had Sheamus Priest, which is a great match. Then you had a couple other good matches and a nice opening opener. Yep, that's what I'm saying. The only downside was Alexa Bliss, Eva Marie, and Drew Jinder was just a squash match. So I don't think they really hurt the show that much. But yeah, I enjoyed both shows. I know not a lot of people did, but I had fun with it, so that's good for me, I guess. Moving on to Monday Night Raw. Overall, Monday Night Raw, it was a fine episode. I think it was slightly better than last week, but not good as the week before. Give it a 6.5. It was just a decent show. It felt like a filler show at times, to me. I got some ups, some downs, and some okays. So I'll start with the ups. Actually, I'll start with the downs. Actually. The 24/7 stuff this week was very filler. This is what I meant by filler. It had one little funny moment, but the rest of it is just basically the same as last week. Like the funny moment was basically, I think Reggie was in an ice cream van, so he gives Truth and Tozawa the ice creams, and R-Truth's like, "Oh, thank you, man," and then realizes that he's meant to be going after him, like straight after. But then after that, it was just sort of the same thing. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Rhea and Nikki. Not gonna lie, skipped it. I just don't care. Eva and Doudrop. Again, it's sort of there for me. It's not doing it for me. The okay things, Mansoor and Ali. Again, it just felt like filler. It felt like a filler arc in their story. Filler night, like a filler storyboard in their story. But it continues it on. It needs to continue on. But yeah, this week it was just sort of there. Jinder Mahal beat Mansoor up, and then Ali said, "You need to listen to me. We can do this your way or my way," or something like that. So it looks like there was progression, which is good. So I'm not going to put it in the down, but it just felt filler. Charlotte and Alexa stuff. Charlotte cut a decent promo, and it looks like her next feud is with Alexa Bliss, probably. I hope Alexa wins the title. It'd be cool for Alexa to win the title, and maybe she gets a custom belt. I'm just saying, that would be pretty cool, and then you can sell it for loads of money, because that's just a smart business decision. Elias, the final vignette, I think it's the final vignette, it intrigued me more than the last two. So Elias is dead, long live Elias, the WWE superstar. I don't know if it's just a re-debut of the same character, or it's a completely different character. I guess we'll see. But this has me a little bit more intrigued. I'm still not completely sold, so it's not in the ups. But I'm going to give it an okay for now, and we'll see where it heads. Another okay was Cross squashing Ricochet. And he has a new look as well. He has like a sort of samurai Mad Max sort of vibe going on. I'm not sure. I don't actually hate it because it what's the word? It feels like an 80s wrestler sort of thing. But that's the vibes that Cross always gives me, is that he's like an 80s wrestler but with wrestling skill. You know what I mean? Like a lot of like the big muscled up heels in the 80s weren't great wrestlers, but Cross is a great wrestler. So he has that as well as being big muscled up dude with lots of intensity. So I didn't hate it. I don't think he needs it, to be honest. I'm still wondering where Scarlett is. I don't know if she's going to get a big debut or something. She's not been released or anything. So I'm assuming they're just waiting for something, but I don't know what that something is. I don't know if Cross is going to have a match. I don't know if she's going to debut at Extreme Rules, maybe? Maybe Cross has a match with Jeff Hardy, some sort of ladder match or TLC match or something. Obviously, hopefully Cross wins that if they do have that. But, yeah, so he squashed Ricochet, The most important thing is he's keeping on winning. That's what he needs to do. He needs to pick up some victories. Needs to make a presence for himself known that he is, someone not to be messed with. The ups. 4 ups. We have everything again involving RK Bro was great. Riddle bought him a scooter. Because he was going to do. He said backstage, "Come on, Randy. Do you really think I'd do something stupid?" And has a big shit-eating grin on his face to Randy. He's just there like stone-faced. These two the chemistry between these two is so much fun to watch between these two. I'm loving it. And so I loved everything with that. It definitely looks like they're going to have a rematch, a tag team title match, which will be great to see. And hopefully they get a bit more time than a match at SummerSlam. The opening tag match with Lashley teaming with Sheamus, taking on Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, who was extremely over in this town. Really, really fun opener. 3.5-star opener. Great work from all 4. Sheamus was left hanging by Lashley, and then Drew pinned him with a Claymore. Great back and forth stuff. And the only thing I'll say is Damian Priest, he seemed a bit uncomfortable on the mic. I don't know what it is. I know he wasn't doing much mic work on NXT. He was doing more vignettes. He just seemed a bit uncomfortable. Maybe he'll grow into it, but I don't know, just a little bit off. But I still like. He's likable, but a little bit off. But one thing I really loved was Sheamus and Lashley backstage. So much intensity. It really felt like a big moment. Them fighting backstage. Well, not fighting, but like shouting at each other. They're gonna have a match next week, and that is gonna be amazing. Lashley and Sheamus, 2 big bulls fighting out. And then everything with Miz and Morrison was also so much fun. Again, more water puns. Love it. Moist TV. With special guest Logan Paul, who had so much heat. So much heat. They hated him, and he looked like he was loving it. He sort of talked about some boxing event or something, with his brother. Now, I don't hate Logan Paul. I think he's alright. I don't really watch much of his stuff, but he's alright. I hate his brother, though, But who doesn't? So Miz and Morrison had some arguments. Then Miz had a match with Xavier Woods and lost, thanks to Morrison accidentally distracting the referee. And then Miz turned on John Morrison. For the 2nd time in his career. What a heartbreaking moment. And they're going to have a match next week. And this kicks off the Miz and Morrison feud. So no more music videos. No more dirt sheets or Miz TV with Morrison. Sad times, but obviously eventually it was going to happen. And they needed to branch out on their own. And obviously they're going to feud with each other first. But Miz and Morrison, they've been so much fun together. They have excellent chemistry. And hopefully their match next week is excellent. I'm hoping if their chemistry in the ring is as good as it is outside the ring, just doing promos, then we're in for a joy. Couple of questions, and then I got a rant. So, I only got 2 questions. One wasn't really a question, but it was sort of like something AWG related, and that came from Freddie. So thank you, Freddie. So I'm just going to take a moment to say that you can get Actress Girls. The link is in the description to subscribe to Actress Girls. They have some amazing talent there. They have the Ichiban Momos, the best Momos in the world, Momo Tani and Momo Kogo. They've got Ayano Iri, who's great, Tei Honma's great, Hikari Shimizu, who's an amazing kicking artist. She's amazing at her kicks. Absolutely love it. She's amazing as well. Then you have Mi, who's super cute. You got Misa Matsuri. That's probably my favourite in AWG at the moment. Misa Matsuri. I've done an MV on her, so you can check that out on my channel. But she is such a good wrestler. She's like 21 or 22 years old. Such a good wrestler already. Putting on some great matches. She had a great match on Ozi Academy, I think, against Kaori Yanayama. So if you want to go check that out, terrific match between those two. She's really, really damn good. And hella cute. I've basically become a Misa Matsui stan Twitter account basically now. And I'm okay with that. I'm totally fine with that. Second question is, anonymous question is, how would I book Karrion Kross on the main roster? So this is something I've been thinking about all day. How would I book him on the main roster? So obviously for the first few weeks, or like 5 or 6 weeks from now on, I'd have him just continue and do what he's doing, beat up wrestlers, win matches in like a minute until you kickstart his first feud. Now I do like the idea of him having a match at Extreme Rules against Jeff Hardy and beating him, possibly a ladder match, maybe for the winner gets a title shot at some point. The winner gets to cash in a title shot, gets to earn a title shot or something like that. So then he can hold that over Lashley's head for a while. Because I think Lashley's one of those rare dudes who can do a heel versus heel match and make it work. So a heel versus heel against Kross I think could work. But I want to build to that. I don't want to just do it in like October. I want Lashley to have longer reign with it. So I think they should have him win that, and then he can move on to a feud with maybe the New Day, maybe? I think that would be a solid feud to have. He can beat up Woods and Kofi and destroy them, and basically get the New Day gone from TV for a few weeks. Because I think the New Day need a reboot, to be honest. Or a reset, more like. Because they've kind of lost their way after getting beaten up by Lashley. They've kind of lost their way, and they haven't been the same since Big E joined SmackDown. And Kofi and Woods are terrific performers. They'll come up with something new. Just give them a couple of weeks off, revamp them, and restart them. Yeah, so my idea of Kross beating Jeff, then move into a feud with a New Day, and then I guess maybe in December, January time, maybe at the Rumble, he could face Bobby Lashley, beat Bobby for the title, and go into Mania as a champion, and then can face either Drew McIntyre or Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Either or would be a terrific match, and he can continue on from there to have a pretty fun run. I'd say maybe not Drew at Mania. Maybe he then holds it till SummerSlam and then faces Drew at SummerSlam for the title, and Drew wins it there. Because eventually Drew McIntyre is winning back the WWE Championship and having a run in front of fans, and it's going to be such a cool moment, and Drew deserves it, honestly. And I think they'd put on a hell of a match. Same with Kross and Bobby. I think that would be a terrific match between those two. And Kross and Brock, my goodness. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Drew's said in the past he would love to face Karrion. So I think that would be a really cool stuff, and that's what I would do. So obviously I think highly of him, and I would make sure he's a star. One little rant before I go, so you can pretty much end it now if you don't want to hear a rant. But obviously Kross has left NXT now, and after the NXT show, the CWC, who were already awful, they booed Ilya Dragunov and Kyle O'Reilly. I mean, these idiots. But not only did they boo Kross after the match, but they started singing na 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 na, the hey 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 goodbye, and like saying Hardy, which I don't get. Like, he choked out Hardy in like 30 seconds, so it doesn't really matter that he lost the first one. He beat him twice after. But they really showed a huge amount of disrespect to Karrion. And I just don't get what Kross has done wrong. I don't get it. What has he done wrong? He's had great matches, great feuds, great storylines, and a great title run. What was wrong with it? Well, because he beat your boy Finn Balor. Oh, boo-hoo. Like, it's so stupid to show that amount of disrespect. I'm not saying you have to like him, right? You cannot like him. That's fine. Right? If you don't like him, you don't have to say thank you, Kross. You can literally just go clap. Just clap. Just give a simple clap just to say, while I might not be a fan, I respect you putting in the hard work and busting your ass and putting your body in the line for us. Right? Let's say I went to a wrestling match, and who's someone who everyone likes who I don't really care about? I go to a Stardom show, and Momo Watanabe's leaving to go somewhere else, right? And she's saying her goodbyes, and I just go, boo, boo, it'll be the worst. You'd think, oh, what a complete arsehole. But I wouldn't do that. Even though I'm not a fan, I'll still clap out of courtesy, because it's the respectful thing to do. Again, you don't have to like the wrestler to show respect. You don't have to like a wrestler to show respect. You know, let's say if Eva Marie got injured, would you cheer her for being injured? Would you be... No. Tora got injured. I don't really like Tora at all. I wasn't happy that she got injured. I was sad for her, because it's sad when anyone gets injured. Because at the end of the day, they're a performer, they're an entertainer for you, right? They're trying to entertain and perform in front of you, whether that's entertain you by making you like them or entertaining you by making you hate them. If they do not entertain you, they're still trying to, and they're putting their bodies on the line. Right? Show them some respect, some decency of respect in these sorts of moments. During the show, you can boo him all you want. But after the show, when he's saying, you know, giving you the look of like, good, I'm leaving NXT, you know, goodbye, just to clap. Just clap. It's simple. It was a horrible thing to do, and those CWC fans should be absolutely ashamed of themselves, because that was extremely disrespectful, and they do not deserve... I hope NXT moves out of the CWC. I like the CWC look. I like it looks like undergroundy sort of thing. But the fans do not deserve to be there. In fact, do it in front of no fans from now on. Scrap... If you have to stay in the CWC, do it in front of no fans, because they do not deserve to be there. Because they are absolutely self-centered, disrespectful arseholes. That's what they are. Self-centered, too busy trying to get themselves over. You know, oh, look at me, oh, look, I'm being edgy, oh, look at me, I'm so edgy. No one cares, mate. No one cares. You're not edgy, you're not funny, you're not interesting, you're just an arsehole. Stop trying to get yourself over and show some respect to the talent that put their bodies on the line.
Correct!
Rant over. Sorry for that long rant. Hopefully, next episode will be much more positive. Anyway, stan all my favourite wrestlers. Stan Misa, Stan Cross, Stan Marika, Stan Senna, Stan Yuna. All of them. And make sure to like, comment, subscribe, check the links in the description. And take care. Arrivederci. Matinee.
Johnny.